Although we've had more than 40 testimonials on our YouTube from some of the people who have made millions of dollars as a result of our systems, and I'm super proud of that. I also want to tell you about an idea that I think, like, I'm kind of pissed because I didn't have a clear way to define this and explain this to clients that didn't get millions of dollars. And I'm a very product driven person, very I think maybe people pleaser. In some respects, I wish I would have realized this 2 years ago when we started Ops Kings. So I'll describe to you what I think. I think people think they come in and they hire us with requirements and a process. And they hope or expect that we will build them a system that makes them a ton of money. And when we first started, Tony and I first started Ops Kings, we were brand new. We were like, we were much more like gentle on expectations. We were like, I don't know, man. Like, I've never dealt with a company that is like a hockey league that also sells custom merch on the side. Like, these are the next couple of steps. And we're going to do this next couple of steps. These steps will help you. But like beyond that, I can't promise you like a big project, right? Even though people wanted to know, like they wanted that certainty, we genuinely couldn't provide it, right? And so we naturally fell into this rhythm of doing sprints. Then over time, we got more testimonials, we got more social proof. People saw that, hey, all these people, like these influencers that they follow online or people they know, hired us and get results. And the mistake that we made a couple of years ago is that we started promising like a more certain outcome in a more defined time frame, right? So people started saying, hey, you work for so-and-so. I saw the system. This person like loves it. They scaled. Can you just like give me that thing? Can you give me exactly what they have? Like, I want that system. And we got a bit cocky. We were like, yeah, man, we got 15 testimonials, 20 testimonials. Yeah, of course we can do this, right? And I think that was a mistake, and I'll explain. It was a mistake to allow that to occur, and I'll explain, I think, what I've realized now. So there was an interim period where we were making those promises and we got worse results. And it was bugging me for a while because I thought this was a skill issue on my behalf in terms of our ability to ask like better questions on the requirements phase, right? So the way that we do the requirements is we call it a company brain, and we will map out a visual process. And I just thought, we just need to get better at asking questions in our company brain process. And then we will get the perfect set of requirements, the perfect documentation of the process. And then, of course, we will be able to build this amazing system that solves all their problems, and they will never have feedback, and they will never feel like we missed a detail. Of course, because we need to get better at the requirements. And so I was really pissed, right? Because I'm the kind of person that I want, we've got 40 testimonials now on our YouTube. I am pissed that we don't have one testimonial and infinite, referrals and millions of dollars in revenue for each of our clients, right? That pisses me off. And I just kind of figured out why, and I'll try to explain what I came to the realization for. So, here is the thing that I realized recently. When someone comes to us with an existing process, that process is not as defined as they say it is, and it's not as defined as we even think it is. In your brain, there are layers of process. So there's the declared process that if I ask you your process, you will tell me things. Now, I can extract more of that process by making a flowchart and showing you the process while we're describing it, right? Because if you can see something that's outside of your brain, every single time we do the company brain process, people describe it. It's like therapy. They say, yes, this is amazing. And they describe it in that way because we have it visually and we create it visually with them while they can see it. So they recall more things, and they recall more exceptions and clunky parts of their process when they can see it. Okay, so that's like one observation. Every single time we do this, everybody comes up with more ideas, right? So the mistake that I made was thinking that that was as far as that same effect would take us. So what I mean is, from the company brain, our next thing we always do is the database. For the last several years, if someone has come and said, hey, I want you to build something on top of Google Sheets or ClickUp or Asana or Basecamp, we would just say no. Like, Ops Kings will not be building things on top of a flexible, fragile project management tool. And we've known that for a long time. But I didn't know why I felt that way. And the reason that we have a policy where we do not build on top of ClickUp at all. If you love ClickUp and you want to keep it, go elsewhere, spend 50 grand, waste it, and come back after that doesn't work, right? Is how I feel about that. We've said no to a lot of business that way, and it's helped us in the long term. The reason why is because the next level of trust after I trust that I can see it and I no longer have to think about it in my head is I no longer have to remember things, right? So the next layer that we always do is offloading memory. And I'm explaining these like offloading concepts, and I'll kind of close the loop on this in a second. So the shift that I made was from we are trying to build tech to we are trying to offload thinking from people. And the distinction is this. If you have somebody that says, hey, how fast can you build this tech? We can build tech pretty fast, right? But we choose not to. And the reason we choose not to is because our job is not to build tech. Our job is to make your job and your company's job easier so you can scale. And sometimes that means tweaking something we've built before, not adding something new, but like just modifying it a little bit. Sometimes that means saying no to an explicit request that our client made because there's another way that's less effort and less tech that has a better result. Sometimes we say to the clients, like, listen, like, you don't need any more tech, like, just go scale. There's like nothing, no new functionality will help you. Because the effect that we actually do at Ops Kings is we do not try to make tech as quickly as possible. We try to scale your company as quickly as possible. We try to unleash capacity as quickly as possible. But ironically, the way that you do that, the actual way that you cause that effect is kind of like learning. You have to trust a little bit and be competent at a little bit before you are given more, right? So the same way you would learn to swim or learn how to ride a bike or learn how to ski or snowboard is the same way that our clients and their teams unlearn how to think about their process. And this is wild. Like, you would think that I would want to get money to build a bunch of stuff, and you would think that it would be apparent and obvious that like more tech and more automation is the thing that's needed, and it is the end result. But tech is only useful if it's trusted, and it's only useful if it does actually help people think less. You guys, I'm sure, like, this is not a new thing, right? But there's lots of tech that people pay for and build that does not create an ROI. And I believe that the reason why people can build systems and build tech and not create an ROI is because the tech was built too fast, and it was built with the objective of creating tech, not with the objective of offloading cognition. And the biggest mistake that I'm the most pissed about for myself, the most disappointed in myself about, and I wish I would have had the clarity of thought and the clarity of mind to be able to realize this sooner and articulate this to our clients sooner, is I wish I could go back in time and tell our clients, hey, the effect we are creating is offloading cognition from your team. That effect needs to happen slowly and in stages. And at each stage, you're never gonna feel like your business is done, and you don't have to think about it at all, because there's always some people involved that need to be encouraged and managed. there's always going to be things that you want to improve. And the effect that you're going to get when you hire Ops Kings to create software for you is we're going to create less than you want, slower than you expect, or maybe could desire. And what is going to happen after we show it to you for the first time is you're going to say, oh, you missed this thing. You missed this thing. Now that I see this other idea that I have. And that effect is not our process breaking. That effect is your mind releasing cognition into the system, which then allows you to bubble new ideas to the surface, or bubble hidden process that was there before to the surface of your awareness, right? It's like taking a shower or washing the dishes or going for a walk when your mind is, when there's nothing bombarding your mind and you're not panicking. When you're able to release thoughts, you get more clarity of thought. And the thing that happens with our clients, the reason I'm so confident that this idea is the right way to go, is because of the 40 testimonials we do have. And the 40 testimonials we do have are of clients that went with the sprint-based process and adopted it, and were like, yes, this is the thing we really, really want to do. And they recognize that in our team. So the only thing I wish we'd have done more is encourage our clients that, like, no, we will not be building things as quickly as you want. And the reason is because we want to capture only the most important parts of your process that you're the most certain of, and not over constrict your process by over automating other things, right? I wish I would have been able to have the words to describe this sooner to our clients. I saw a New Yorker article where like 95% of companies that say that when they try to implement AI, it's failed. And I believe the problem is they're trying to implement AI versus trying to take repetitive knowledge work that's occurring in people's minds and like in their teams and tackle that in stages, right? I think this is the biggest thing that if you want to automate your business, want your business to operate more efficiently, either because you need the capacity to grow now, or you as an owner are like being bombarded by your team, or you feel like, well, I've got 10 or 20 people on my team and I really should have I should be able to do this with 5. The biggest thing I think that is the biggest constant in our clients where we've been able to create the best results for is when we have said, hey, like, I know you said that you do this thing every month, but like, what if we just show you the number of days since the last time you did it, and you can decide for yourself if you want to do it every 40 days or every 20 days or whatever. Like, not to like nudge the user, not force the user to offload layers of cognition to be more strict on, or like to be more, to work with psychology of how cognition is offloaded versus the psychology of wanting everything perfect and done right away. I don't think systems will ever be done. The best software, it'll never be done. You'll always, ideally, if you build a system, or if come to Ops Kings and build a system, you will never feel like it's done because you will never stop growing. That is our goal. Our goal is not to get you requirements. Our goal is not to build you a done system. Our goal is to help you scale. And a scaling business never feels done. That is the goal. And I wish I had the words 2 years ago to describe that. But I guess it took, 40 something testimonials to realize the biggest patterns that cause that success. So, if you've ever felt, here's the thing, if you worked with us in the past and didn't get, you're not one of the people that left a testimonial, I'm really, really sorry. I wish I would have had the words to describe to you, like, this is the approach you need to take, even though you want something else, like, we need to do it this other way. I wish I would have had those words before. If you have tried automation in the past and you've hired somebody and you probably got this feeling like they know how to build stuff, but you didn't get the ROI, you didn't feel like your business got easier, you didn't feel like it scaled, right? Maybe your team didn't trust it or whatever. I think this is probably the reason why. And that's it. That's the thought, right? I think this is huge. I think there's tons. Here's the thing that's encouraging to me is, despite all that, despite the fact that there's inherent friction in feeling like I want this defined result. I want this feeling of, knowing that my business is perfect and knowing that I can scale forever and I'm never going to have to pay to somebody to add onto the system before, right? So even though that feels like high friction, the thing is, if you're making millions of dollars a year per more, like, who cares, right? So that's one thing. And a lot of our clients are making millions of dollars more per year, which I'm super, super happy about. And the second thing is it means that even if you don't feel like your business can be automated, I guarantee you there is repetitive thought in all of your team members' brains that doesn't have to be done by your team members. So that means that hiring new people is going to be easier. That means you can have the same output with the same team, more output with the same team, which means you can scale without hiring a ton of people. Or if you want to keep the business tight and small, that means you don't have to hire a manager. It means you don't have to hire a COO or a director of operations to, like, manage people. It means that your business can, even if the execution of every task is a manual execution, because I totally get it. You want the quality to be high, right? Even if that is the case, you can still automate the thought that coordinates between things, which means you can take holidays. We've seen people, like, they haven't taken holidays in close to a decade, completely go off the grid for 3 weeks because they took their first ever holiday because everything worked finally for the first time. And these are businesses where everything is manual too, right? Very little automation of tasks, very much automation of thought. I think this idea can help a lot of people. Certainly it was a help for me because I'm a perfectionist. I want everybody to get results that make millions of dollars that works with us. And I think that's it. That's my thought for the day. It was a tough, dude, honestly, like, this was a tough lesson for me because I feel responsible for not teaching this to our clients before and sort of telling them, like, this is the effect we are going for. And no, this is, like, you cannot expect software to get you this feeling because what's going to happen when we get it is this other result, right? I didn't have the words to describe that effect. And it caused more friction than it needs to. So I'm pissed about that. I'm happy with the 40, and hopefully it'll be 200 and 500 testimonials soon. But yeah, I hope that you learned something from this. If you have questions, let me know. And that's it. Have a good day, everybody. Peace.